Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. If you're new to my channel, if I just showed up in your feed, thank you so much for checking me out. And if you're a regular or a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. We're going to get right into the January love reading for Sagittarius. Now, I'm a Sagittarius and this is for my closest brothers and sisters of my collective, of course. But I also have a moon in Leo and a Taurus rising, and I consider them my brothers and sisters too. And as I do all of my watchers. So this one, however, is very close to my energy. And so let's get right into it. I wanted to wait until we were into 2020 before I did these readings. If you're new to my channel, you'll notice that in the coming months, the readings will be put out a few days before the beginning of the month. But I didn't want to have any of that leftover 2019 energy. I wanted to have fresh 2020 energy for the January readings. And so here we are. And let's just see what January has to hold in the area of love for Sagittarius. Now, this is a general love reading for the entire month. I will be doing a mid-month love checkup, so don't forget to put your notifications on for that if you enjoy this reading. If you want to get a private reading, go ahead and follow that link at the top of your screen. Also, Tarot Answers is a 10-minute recorded message or answer that I provide for you to one of your questions, and that's the same day turnaround. So if you want to try that before you get right into a full private reading, that's fine, and that's at the top of your screen now also. And this reading could be for anyone. If you're involved, if you're single, if you're looking for love, whatever your status is, this is just a general love reading for Sagittarius. Show me what's going on for our lovely bow shooter, right? Let's get right into it. All right. Sagittarius, straight out, Justice in the center. This came out in the center for Aries, covered by 8 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles is in your conscious position, money issues. And a 6 of Swords, a desire to move towards harmony. Queen of Cups. And the Ace of Pentacles. Nice. Very nice. We have Star energy and the 4 of Wands. 9 of Wands and a Page of Cups. Well, you certainly desire a true love connection, Sagittarius, don't you? At the bottom of the deck, we have a 10 of Swords. Also showed up earlier for Aries reading. And this is why I like to do the monthly readings by element. Aries and Leo should be up already. Because you've shared a lot of the same cards. Justice, 4 of Pentacles has shown up. 9 of Wands has shown up. Star energy has shown up. 10 of Swords has shown up, and 6 of Swords has shown up for the other fire signs also. So we have a lot of overlapping cards for the element of fire this month, but let's get right into it. I'm going to come back to the 10 of Swords. Let's get right into your center cards. Justice, rebalancing is needed to come in, right? A rebalance, a sort of rebalance to an injustice in a way, right? It could very well be Sagittarius for quite some time. Could be that you have been involved in sort of relationships or a relationship that became unbalanced, right? That kind of just went out of whack, right? It may have started off nice. It may have started off with all of the promise of a really good connection, but something went very, very wrong. And it feels really like it was an injustice in a way. It feels like somebody was very unfair in the situation. And so you walked away. 8 of Cups is walking away. 8 of Cups is deciding that you've had enough, pouring your energy into cups that give you nothing in return. When you're handing someone a cup of love made out of gold and all they have is a cup of tin. This is 8 of Cups. Deciding to put boundaries in place and saying, listen, you know what? I'm not going to let people cross bounds with me anymore. I'm going to keep a higher level of criteria for people who enter into my life, you know. Require more from people, right? And not just give your energy to people who are just marginally what you would accept in your life. But they really have to fulfill certain boxes, tick certain boxes. And I'm not saying so much of a judge that you need to judge. But let me be real. You know, you're not going to go to the corner and pick up the wino. You know, I mean, he's a human being, and that's great and wonderful. But is that the person you want in your life? You know, so you're gonna say to yourself, well, yeah, if I want a love connection with somebody, I require them not to be an alcoholic on the corner. I require them to have a job at least. I require them to be honest. This is what I mean by criteria. And so many of us forget to put certain criteria into place, or to at least know what your criteria in a relationship is. What are you willing to put up with, and what are you not willing to put up with? And this is not a case of believing that you're better than anyone, but it's a case of, if you just allow anyone in the world into your life, then, how will you find your true soulmate, right? How will you find the right person that you can have your twin flame journey with? That right person has to at least fulfill the basic needs that you personally require. And this is the decision that we make with Eight of Cups. It's a decision to take what we have and walk away and go, seek higher ground, seek deeper ground, a deeper level of connection, a higher level of connection. And so you can see the person turning his back or her back and ascending up, right? This is a choice that you've made. And I think this is what happened with a particular situation somewhere along the line. Certainly somewhere along the line before January or coming into January, you made this decision for a reason, right? And again, I say it was probably, I feel strongly there was probably a connection somewhere along the line that for you found was just very, very unfair, that became very unfair and became very unbalanced and to a certain degree unstable also. Now we have the Four of Pentacles in your conscious position with the Six of Swords in your unconscious position. The Four of Pentacles talks all about you maintaining your position financially, your stability, your career goals, right? Four of Pentacles can sometimes be the card for greediness or miserliness, but greediness is just a fear. Being a miser is just a fear. It's a fear of losing what you've worked for. And so at the heart, Four of Pentacles is a feeling that our financial stability is being threatened. Four is the number for stability. And so right now, this month, you are very concerned with sort of shoring up, your financial status, shoring up your career status or your business status, making sure that you have a firm foundation to work from, that you have stability financially. And this is more important to you than connecting with someone right now, right? Could very well be that you had a connection, that in this connection, part of what went out of balance was financial. Could have been that you were dealing with somebody maybe who was causing you to, was somehow causing you to put your finance or career in threat, in a sense that perhaps just by pouring energy into that relationship, you weren't putting enough energy into the stability of your financial status, or perhaps it could have just been that you were just dealing with somebody who was sucking your finances. They may have not been up to your level, and sort of in this way, this is what became very unbalanced. It could have been they just started needing your money more than needing their own money, right? And so you're not willing to go back to anything like that again. And that's just an example I'm saying, but surely something is going on there where your most important issue this January is making sure that you are financially stable. Six of Swords is in your unconscious, and it's very, very sort of compatible with this Eight of Cups, because Six of Swords talks about wanting harmony, wanting to be around people who are like-minded. You can see, look at that, both images, both I want to say people in the cards, right, have their backs turned, right? They have their backs turned to us. So it's like turning away, from empty relationships and turning away from turmoil and strife. You remember the Five of Swords represents an unequal power dynamic. It represents, sort of toxic energy, fighting, not fighting fairly. And so you're turning your back on that. You're very much sort of moving away from that. It's another decision. So not only have you decided to move away from shallow relationships, or certainly from this relationship that became sort of out of balance, but you've decided to make a concerted effort to, from now on, move towards much more harmonious connections, where the communication is harmonious, where the mindset and mentality is similar to yours, right? Where you are, making a decision to move closer towards people who are like-minded as you are, who are the type of people that you are, who have the same sort of convictions and intentions. Obviously, we're not all exactly the same, but there's certain types of people that you decide to surround yourself with. And this in your back of your mind, you have firmly decided as well that from now on you are going to not only stop pouring your energy into relationships that don't give you anything back, but you're going to intentionally and purposefully move towards the kind of connections that are harmonious, that lift both of you up, right? Mentally as well. Queen of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. So you come into this month feeling very open, feeling ready that you want to exchange your cup of love, right? So for some of you, Sagittarius, you are absolutely ready for a strong love connection. You're ready emotionally. The Queen of Cups is very emotionally strong. She's not afraid to be vulnerable. She's not afraid to show who she is. She is as above, so below. This is what we see with the Queen of Cups. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She can't be anyone else but who she is. She doesn't deny her feelings, and she doesn't worry about necessarily being hurt or having somebody not able to exchange their cup of love with her, because she is so emotionally healthy and strong that if things don't happen to work out, it's not like she becomes emotionally crippled. You know, she's not going to be hiding in the house and worried to get into another love relationship. She's going to get up, dust herself off, realize it wasn't right, and move on, and yet maintain the same level of emotional maturity and depth that she has before, not cutting herself off. And so you are absolutely willing to hand your cup to someone, but it must be someone who's worthy of it, right? Because this cup of love, this Queen's cup, is a very special cup. You'll know that this cup is not replicated in any of the cards. She is the only one in the tarot deck that has a cup that looks like that. And it just speaks to how unique her love is, how deep her love is, how special her love is. You simply can't get the same level from anyone else. And this is what you're resonating with as you come into January. As you're coming through and out of January, it's the Ace of Cups. So money and finances all come into you. Abundance comes in. For some of you, it could be a whole new avenue in your career or your business that you are following. For some of you, it could very well be the same goal that you've had for a while, but now the true abundance of it is beginning to come in, right? Or the true opportunity to fulfill that goal is now coming in January, right? Very, very strong. Certainly by the end of January, some of you are going to have this worry over the stability of your finances well and truly sort of taken care of and handled, right? And then you come in with this energy of Star, and you're met with Four of Wands. Now, it's a dream, right? You want to follow your dreams. You're following your dreams as far as it comes to your career anyway, right? But you also want to follow your dreams when it comes to a love connection. There is a certain type of love connection that you truly want. And this decision here that you made this decision knowing that you can't come any closer to this real sort of soulmate, twin flame connection unless you decide to stop pouring your energy into relationships that aren't worth it, right? Into relationships with people that clearly from the outset don't fulfill your criteria, don't tick the boxes that you need to be ticked in order for somebody to even begin a relationship with you. And so you know that you needed to move away from that. You know that you needed to change your environment so that you can make room for the real sort of love connection that you have always wanted. Star energy is all about your highest dreams and wishes for yourself, and constantly doing everything you can in your life, making decisions in your life so that you can make room for those dreams to manifest. And sometimes those decisions involve leaving other connections behind to make room for the better connection, the closer connection to what you want. You're met with Four of Wands energy. I'm going to say some of you are absolutely going to meet a strong love connection this month. It's going to be the type of love connection that you've wanted for a long time. And why? Because I've said this before in my readings. When we make decisions like the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords, which are two of my favorite cards actually in the tarot for intentionally changing your environment or intentionally changing your outlook for your betterment, right? Maybe making a difficult decision to turn your back on something or someone so that you can increase your own sort of abundance and love. So that what you're doing is good for you, right? Turning your back on relationships that don't give you anything in return is difficult. It's hard to do. A lot of people can't do it, and they remain in these toxic situations. But when you do it, the universe loves you for it, because the universe knows that you've made a really hard decision, but you've made a decision that's for your own betterment. And the universe loves you for that, because you are a child of the universe. And the only thing the spirits really want you to see you do is do the right thing for you. And so it seems to me very much like doing the hard thing, the difficult thing, is being almost like rewarded in a way, right? Right away this month with a possible strong soulmate connection. Four of Wands is Venus in Aries energy. So we're talking about a new relationship that starts right off solid. Remember, 4, I said, is the number for stability. And one of the reasons the 1111, which is the 4 of Wands, is considered the twin flame journey is because it is a new relationship. It is a new path in beauty and love, Venus energy in Aries, that starts off right away equal. You know, equal respect, equal love, equal intention, equal focus, right? Everything that's necessary for two people to come together in an extremely balanced and stable way. This builds such a strong foundation that this is why we call this a lot of times the twin flame journey or the soulmate connection, because it starts with exactly the right foundation that you need for that type of journey, right? Now your hopes and dreams and your fears are 9 of Wands. This is the same position for both. And 9 of Wands is just really realizing exactly how much you've hindered your own self, how much you've held on to sort of your own baggage or your own mode of behaving in a way, right? Your own sort of crutches, right? These wands represent, you know, maybe things that you've used as a crutch, you know, an outlook, you know, that you've held on to, a way of behaving that you've held on to, baggage that you've held on to, all that at one point or another that you feel that you've used sort of to help you, but it's more than anything, it's been a crutch. And now you're realizing that these wands, rather than helping you, the only thing that they're doing is alienating you from greener pastures, alienating you from a better future, a future free from sort of the oppression of these wands. And so with 9 of Wands, we begin to see that and prepare for the 10 of Wands, which is when we lay it down. You're starting to really take a long, hard look in the mirror, Sagittarius, and see, what can I do to let go of? What do I need to let go of in my life that I've held on to that has really now been a hindrance? It's become a hindrance. It's maybe at one point, and let me say this, at one point, we all maybe need to do... We need to hold on to a certain kind of idea to get through something. Yes, sometimes it can be a crutch. Sometimes it can be a crutch that's necessary just to get over a particularly difficult time. You know, it's like if we're mourning, right? If we've lost somebody, this is a completely separate example from love, but I want to give you this example. If you have gone through a particularly traumatic time, maybe you've lost a loved one, right? Or you know, someone in your life passed away or is ill or what have you. So you're really dealing with difficult trauma. We may, in the short term, turn to alcohol or drinking, right? We may have the odd drink to just calm our nerves, to steady ourselves. This is a crutch. And it's a necessary crutch sometimes that we need to get over the most difficult times. But once it's over, once we realize that that drink is now becoming a problem, right? We don't want to hold on to these things, right? We're not holding on to these things to keep using them. Then they become forms of alienation for us, or then they become toxic, right? So there is something to be said for using certain things in our life, certain behavior patterns or certain ideas in our lives to get us over a particularly difficult time. But then we must let it go before it becomes baggage, before it becomes something that we can't let go or something that we don't even realize is hindering us. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case with you, that you're drinking or anything like that, but I'm just using that as an example to explain to you the necessity for 9 of Wands and the necessity that sometimes, You know, we do the things we need to do for various times in our lives, but we need to be extremely intentional and always to reevaluate, why are we doing something? Why are we doing something? And if we understand why we're doing it, and if what we're doing is not helping us, to lay it down. And this is what you're dealing with this month. Part of your fear is, will you be able to? Right? This is your hopes and dreams and your fears. So I think part of your fear is, will you be able to lay down this baggage? Or when you do lay it down, what will your future look like? Or what will the future of your connections look like? And then once again, remember I told you, the universe loves you and right away affirms to you, reaffirms to you where you should be, brings love into your life as soon as you make the right decisions for yourself, no matter how hard. And how do you round off the month? Well, you round off with a beautiful Page of Cups. Something here, this Four of Wands, I do believe for some of you Sagittarius, you're going to have a new relationship coming in, a new opportunity for a relationship. And this month, it's going to round off just as a simple conversation. It could be a simple meeting. You know, you just run into somebody new in your social group, you know. Page of Cups is beautiful, sort of overcoming fear in love. Pages are all earth, right? Earth is associated with all pages. And here we have the earthy aspect of love. Overcoming fear in each of this sort of suits is also associated with pages. So here we have not only a practical side to exchanging love, a token of love, right? So telling someone, showing someone, giving or receiving flowers, as it were. But we also see overcoming fear of love, overcoming the fear of expressing our love, overcoming feelings like jealousy or insecurity, right? And so the Page of Cups, I'm going to say for some of you, this Four of Wands is going to come in very, very innocently. Certainly going to come in like perhaps someone, you know, you just end up having a coffee with them, or they just end up bumping into you in your social area or in your work area, wherever it is that you know, you conduct your day-to-day activities. All of a sudden, you know, there's this, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, oh, let's go have a tea. And then before you know it, it's just the first beginnings of love. Ten of Swords also talks about letting go. It's the end of a period where you've really gone through a lot of pain, Sagittarius, and you're a new person. I think you, again, with this Nine of Wands, realizing it's time to let go of baggage. Also, you're saying goodbye, I think, to a period in your life where there's been just too many ups and downs, too many downs, really. Too many times of picking yourself up. And so it's the end of it. You've decided to let go of suffering. You've decided to sort of let go of this whole stage. You are resonating higher. This old ego is not you anymore. You're a whole new person. And so the things that hurt you before can't hurt you anymore. Right? And so you're coming into this period a really transformed person, Sagittarius. A whole new person with a whole new idea of what you want for your life. And no longer... I'm going to say Ten of Swords is also a decision to no longer have suffering in your life, but it is also just simply the end of a stage in your life of suffering, right? So not only do you choose to end it, but it is sort of like you know, this is your life path, right? This is what's meant to be. It's the end of a difficult time for you. All right, let's get right into your clarifiers, and then this will be your reading. Show me some clarity on this reading, just to make sure. We want to know a little bit deeper. Cards are jumpy. Give it another shuffle. Show me. There's your Fool. New journey, Five of Cups. There's your disappointment in love. Three of Swords and Three of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Wands. So yes, you absolutely want to move forward in love. Two of Pentacles is Mars and Aries energy. And with the Fool, yes, it's a whole new beginning. And so this is what I'm saying. I think for some of you, you are definitely right now, I'll move this over so you can see it. This new Ace of Pentacles really speaks to this Fool coming in over your Four of Pentacles. Some of you Sagittarius are definitely right now on a sort of life path or career path that's new. And so, yes, this anxiety right now that's really in the forefront of your mind this month, which is definitely going to impact your openness to new love, right? It's a whole new thing for you, right? And of course, it's the anxieties. Whenever you start something new, you have anxiety there, right? A feeling of, am I gonna do it? Is my finances gonna be stable? But with the Fool coming in, this definitely indicates this is a new path for you, Sagittarius. And a little bit of faith is required right now. But don't forget, the Fool has also learned quite a lot from his previous stages. And certainly it's time for you to use some of that experience as you come into this new sort of phase in your life, career or business phase in your life. Six of Swords covered by Five of Cups. Deep disappointment. All right? Deep disappointment in love and your decision to turn away from the type of relationships that continue to cause you disappointment, that continue to be not for you, not good for you, not healthy for you, where people are unreliable, This disappointment is so deep, I think, for some of you Sagittarius, that this is another reason why it's over. It's almost as if this last connection, whatever last connection you had, or some connection in the most recent past, was so disappointing that it kind of shocked you out of a way of behaving, or shocked you or shook you out of sort of a mode of behaving where you allow people in your life to have the capacity to disappoint you. And this goes back to boundaries here. This goes back to requiring certain things from people before you allow them in. I think you realize that you've just allowed people too close into your heart, before you vetted them. It's as simple as that. And then, of course, they disappointed you. Right. So you realize that now. This is a real lesson for you. And again, so a whole new path. Another reason why you've decided to stop, suffering in that way, because you realize it's time to stop allowing people in who you haven't sort of figured out, or at least tried to figure out whether or not they're the right person for you at all, right? And so, yes, you're definitely journeying away from the type of people who will continue to disappoint you. Three of Swords again, Queen of Cups. I think somebody really, not only did they disappoint you emotionally, but they really tried to play you for a fool with this Three of Swords. Saturn and Libra energy. So we're talking about somebody who's just not been very fair with you, in terms of communicating with you. They may have lied to you about their feelings, or I think you feel very much like in one scenario, maybe the same one's this, it's like they tricked you. Three of Swords is a real pain, because it feels like somebody kind of sort of got over on you, or they played you, they played you for a fool. They insulted your intelligence in some way by, getting you to believe that they had certain intentions or a certain level of love, which they never really had. And so I think another reason why you're so strongly coming in with this Queen of Cups is that you realize that this was really more to do with them than it was to do with you. You realize that the best thing you could have done is let go of this toxic kind of energy and let them be in your past, and not let this toxic energy make you so distrustful of the future that you can never have a decent connection again. And so this is what I was talking earlier about the Queen of Cups being so emotionally strong. She's not going to allow the toxicity of somebody in her life to sort of get her off of her square, to change her heart about people. The worst thing that somebody can do is get them to change who you are because they've hurt you, and then for you to close off your heart. Best to get rid of that person and those and to make sure you don't get involved with those types of people anymore, and keep your heart and your ability to love intact. Three of Pentacles comes out over this Ace of Pentacles, and this is absolutely a month where you are going to be increasing your finances. This opportunity that you've taken or that is coming in is going to involve more and more people. You will be probably working in groups more, partnership more. It can also indicate an increase of customers if you're in the type of business where people come to you for your services. Mars in Capricorn energy. So we are going full steam ahead, mind, body, and soul, with manifesting your dreams in material form, right? In abundance, in the form of abundance and financial abundance. So very strong this month. You're going to be working very, very hard on your career. and making very, very difficult decisions about things that you need to let go of, right? So that you can invite or allow room for the right kind of love, right? And so you put a lot of energy into this area of your life so that when the right connection comes in, not only are you stable, but then you're able to put good energy into the right connection rather than wasting energy and sort of cups and people that really aren't sort of for you. Justice is at the center, and this month is all about readdressing this imbalance that you've had in relationships. Again, I'm going to say for a lot of you Sagittarius, the imbalance has been because you've been dealing with people in this last year who definitely were not sort of up to your level. Not mentally, not emotionally, right? Not financially, right? And so perhaps in an effort, I don't know why, perhaps in an effort to sort of, whatever reasons, those reasons are going to be very personal. I think this is why the Nine of Wands is there. This is going to be very specific to the Sagittarian. But if you resonate with this Nine of Wands is the process by which you begin to sort of look at why you would choose the type of relationships that are like this, right? And you exercise that. Get that out. Get those negative sort of self-esteem issues perhaps or baggage out of your system so that you no longer feel drawn to the type of relationships that so quickly are out of balance, out of whack, and really don't provide you with anything in return. All right, guys, this is your reading for January, your love connection. Please do check out your other readings in the description. 2020 general outlook, 2020 love outlook. Please like, subscribe, and share. Help me to continue to grow my channel so I can keep giving you these readings. If you want to get a private reading, you can follow that link in the top of your screen. Or if you just want to get a 10-minute recorded video tarot answer to a question, those are turned around the same day, usually within 4 hours. You can go ahead and book that. It's a good way to check it out and see if this is for you, and then before you actually commit to a full private reading. And for the rest, Sagittarius, I'm going to just say have a wonderful, wonderful January 2020. And don't forget to come back and check me out in the middle of the month for your mid-month love checkup. Bye-bye now.